Some of you may be wondering, who is this guy? The David Spoon Experience on K-Praise, 1210 a.m. KPRZ.
Welcome back to the David Spoon Experience, local, national, and heavenly talk. Thank you for joining us here at KPRZ, 1210 a.m. in San Diego, California. Quick information for you to understand. If you want to reach the show, you can send an email to davidspoon@kprz.com. You can also go to Facebook and type in the David Spoon Experience, like it, and or make a comment. And then follow us on Twitter @Spoon Experience because my handle. Hey, that's pretty good for not having done it for a long time, huh? I'm still right there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you guys, I don't know if you remember Marcella and Susan, but they were in before with the Comfort Cub. And so Marcella Johnson's the founder, and then we said, Susan, you were kind of like a co-founder partner.
Right.
Did you get a new title since I've seen you last, or is it pretty much the same thing?
National Sales Director is my official title.
Trying to make this sound good.
All right, so for those that want more information on Comfort Cub, I want to make sure everybody has the information correct. That is, the Comfort Cub website is thecomfortcub.com.
Yep.
That's still good?
Yes.
And the phone number, 888-595-6671.
Correct,
Is that
yep.
correct? So
Yes,
I got
that's right. Good
two of
job.
those things. So before we go anywhere else, let me explain to you from my point of view, then I'll let the ladies talk, what's going on. You're talking about a Comfort Cub. So it's a cub. It's kind of like a teddy bear, but it's a weighted teddy bear that has a greater value in what it does. When you take that bear, the cub, and you put it on your chest, you can feel the weight of the bear on your chest. Now, beyond all of the medical evidence that they'd be able to share, the big deal is, you think, well, what's the big deal about that? It brings a greater sense of comfort than just a regular teddy bear or a dozen flowers. This is the easiest way to say it in the world. And here's what happened. So I have a very good friend, and his wife and him, they lived with us for a while, so I know them extremely well. Their child is one of the best friends of my child, so the families are very connected. And she had a very big surgery, and the surgery was very long, and we decided, instead of sending flowers, which we would normally have done, we sent a Comfort Cub. Now, the primary purpose on the Comfort Cub has to do with loss, and that's loss of a child, and we'll get into that in a second. But we decided we were just going to send the Comfort Cub as kind of like a, we said that when you get it, it talks about loss on the card. Just take the card to the side and give her the Comfort Cub. Let's just see what happens. And then she sent me a text after she received her cub about an hour later how much she loves her Comfort Cub buddy. And it's just like, it's like that. That's when you know it worked. It's real. It works. So we strongly encourage you to consider getting involved with the Comfort Cub. In fact, we are, by the end of this show, going to give another one away.
Great.
So we're excited to do that. So let's talk to Marcella, now that I've done all the talking.
Great.
And give you the chance to talk about the Comfort Cub.
Okay, so the Comfort Cub is a therapeutic teddy bear that was originally designed for moms who lose babies. And after the obvious emotional pain I had after I lost my son, I got some surprising physical symptoms as well. My heart hurt and my arms ached. And when I found a weighted object and put it in my arms, that aching went away immediately. And then I read that many women who lose a baby often find odd things to carry around, like a 5-pound sack of flour, pillows. And what really sent me over the edge was hearing about a woman who found a pineapple about the size of her baby, and she wrapped it in blankets and carried it around with her. And I thought, my goodness, we need to do something more dignified for these people. And so I came up with the idea to create a weighted teddy bear that can be given to women when they lose a child. And so it's at every single hospital in San Diego right now. And it's there for women that, have lost a child, and we make sure that they don't leave the hospital empty-handed. So that's its original use.
Okay. Now, I'd like you to do a little bit of the backstory, though, even further back for you when you were visiting the grave.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like you to share that because, people are like, okay, I'm hooked. What do you got?
Okay.
And I'd like to just now we're going to talk about an event that's going on and get to that, but I want people to hear this backstory. So do a little condensing on it. But
okay,
listen to this story when Marcella went to the grave of your child, right?
That's right. So, a week after my son had died, I was very depressed, and I wanted to go and be by his grave. And when I got there, someone had sent a beautiful arrangement in a terracotta pot. And my dad, saw it and he said, you should take this pot, pick it up. And I'm like, I don't really care about a pot. I am so depressed right now. But he wouldn't let it go. So I picked up the pot just to appease him. And when I put my arms around it, and it was about the same weight and circumference of a child, my aching immediately went away. And, it's the interesting thing about it is that there's actually a medical term for it. It's called Takotsubo syndrome, and it's for when people have a broken heart. It's also called stress-induced cardiomyopathy, and that's what I was experiencing, but I didn't know what it was. And that's what a lot of women experience, but they don't know what it was. And it's not, or what it is. And it's not just for somebody who loses a child. It can be for any kind of loss, the loss of a husband, the loss of a grandparent, the loss of a father or mother,
Any kind of grieving scenario,
that's right,
or any kind of loss, or
that's
even
right,
any kind of really discomfort, and that's one of the things that I want to
that's
talk
right,
to Susan about. So it says the National Sales Director. I know you guys are focused in, and we'll cover the event in the next segment, but you guys are focused in on the loss aspect, and that's the right aspect because that's the origin of the company and where it started. But I think it's a good call, a wise call, to say the Comfort Cub has an expansive element to it for people that are hurting. And it doesn't even have to be that full loss. Now, a loss of a child it's not going to be replaced by the Comfort Cub. The idea here is to bring comfort to ease some of the pain. So nobody's losing their mind or anything like that. But when I sent that Comfort Cub to Cindy, who was in surgery, certainly discouraged in a sense of she was just operated on, and had a lot of loss take place, it also had that impact of bringing comfort to her. And that's really the intent, isn't it? To bring the comfort.
It is. I fully agree with you, David. What we've seen with studies is that when you hold a weighted object, it actually releases the neurotransmitter of serotonin. And that serotonin is a neurotransmitter that makes you feel good. And many people take serotonin supplements to help with their depression or their grief. And interestingly enough, something weighted like the Comfort Cub can also release that same neurotransmitter.
Just by holding it. Just by holding the cub up against your chest.
Exactly.
That's amazing. All right, here's what we're going to do. And this is what I'll make sure. So for my robo producer, because we're doing things kind of a little different, and he's being thrown in and out of different elements. We're going to hang on with Marcella and Susan. We're not going to go anywhere. We're going to keep them over for one more session, because what I want to do is talk about this event that's going on, because today, it just so happens, is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day.
That's right.
So we're going to talk about that and an event that's taking place and some coordination that can go with that. But by the way, if you're a person that's like, what? I don't think I've heard of this. TheComfortCub.com. Okay? TheComfortCub.com, or I don't care if you're from Detroit, it's everywhere else it's whatever. TheComfortCub.com, 888-595-6671. You can also type in TheComfortCub.com into Google, and it'll get you there that way. The big thing to remember is oftentimes we send flowers, or we'll send something to say, hey, we recognize there's something going on here. Is it possible that by sending a Comfort Cub, you could be sending a lasting piece of encouragement that's a blessing? That's the element to consider. We're going to take our short break and come back. You're listening to the David Spoon Experience right here on KPRZ, 1210 a.m. in San Diego. Don't go anywhere.
Tell a friend about the David Spoon Experience. K-Praise, 1210 a.m. KPRZ.
Welcome back to the David Spoon Experience, local, national, and heavenly talk. Thank you for joining us here at KPRZ, 1210 a.m. in San Diego, California. Do want to give you a quick check on the weather. It's nice. It's good. I mean, it's all right. It's not. It's been better. It's been worse. It's not too bad on the traffic yet, but then I'm not driving home yet, so everybody hasn't turned on their special magnet where they all text and just drive right next to me. I haven't had that happen yet. That's always fun. So we're hanging out. You guys having fun?
Absolutely. We are
time.
so glad to be here.
Marcella Johnson and Susan Heck are the people that help coordinate for you. For those that don't know, the Comfort Cub, which is a weighted therapeutic teddy bear that brings joy and grace into people's lives who have loss and who are hurting. And their website, thecomfortcub.com, is the website you want to go to. You just go to the website and check it out. I mean, if you have any questions, you can call them. Their number is 888-595-6671. That's 888-595-6671. I don't know why I can't do the 888s today. I don't know what's going on. See, 888-595-6671. Okay, got it.
Well done.
All right, so now we've only got a couple minutes. I want to make sure because we only got 3.5 or 4 minutes. Today is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. Talk to me, Susan, a little bit about that real quickly.
Well, in 1988, then President Ronald Reagan declared October as the National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. And it has since then been designated that this date, the 15th, is the Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day.
Okay, so there's an event. Let's talk about the
That's
event
right.
because it's taking place tonight.
Exactly.
That's right.
Okay, who wants to share?
Okay, it's tonight at La Jolla Shores from 5 to 7:30, and it's a candlelight vigil, and it's a part of the International Wave of Light, which is a worldwide lighting of candles at 7 o'clock. But we're encouraging families to come down. Anyone who's had a loss in their life, which would include a stillbirth, a miscarriage, or the loss of an infant. That is what tonight is all about, and it will be from 5 to 7:30, and the candle lighting ceremony will start at 7 o'clock. And we just encourage everyone to come and bring some beach chairs and a blanket.
Now, is there a website that somebody can go to, or is there a phone? What way can they get more information on this?
Yes, it's October 15th, Remembrance Day on a San Diego event on Facebook. It tells you more about it, but it's at La Jolla Shores, and it's behind the lifeguard tower, and it's very, very casual, and it's we hope that everyone will join us to remember the babies that have gone too soon.
Yeah, and here let me just give everybody the mission statement for Comfort Cub so you know where they're coming from. Here's the mission statement. The mission of Comfort Cub is to help bring comfort to anyone in the world experiencing a broken heart as a result of a significant loss in their life. And I think that as you apply that mission, there's people that have had loss, and you said something, miscarriage and stillbirth, just the whole process, or loss of child. It's significant. And anytime you can get comfort and some kind of grace from it, some kind of soothing to your heart, it's worthwhile.
Can I tell you one thing? I wanted you to know the statistic because I think that your listeners out there, everyone knows someone who has been affected by one of those things. And they say that when you include miscarriage and stillbirths and all of it, it's one out of every 4 women will experience this with their pregnancies.
No, I believe that. I believe that could even be low because I know so many people that have had some type of significant loss. And I consider even somebody going through a major surgery, in a sense, it's a loss for them because there's a loss in that strength that they had, and they have to have a full recovery.
That's right.
Just to get back to themselves. So it's like, I just like, I get that. Who doesn't understand that? I get it. All right. So Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day, the event tonight. Tell me again where it is.
La Jolla Shores, 5 to 7:30. Please join us behind the lifeguard tower.
Okay. Now, if you have any questions on that, or if you have any questions on the Comfort Cub, okay, any of them, you just call this same number and they'll have to answer. They don't have a choice. 888-595-6671. That's 888-595-6671. Also, their website is thecomfortcub.com. And what we really want to say to you as the audience is this. There's nobody understands reaching out to somebody who's been hurt, has a wound or a loss. I mean, I've had that going on my whole life. My dad passed away when I was 20, and I've had I've seen nothing but losses, throughout the process, which is one of the reasons that I got to the faith that I got to. But there's nothing better than to know that a simple act of love and kindness can bring a stroke of grace,
right.
which will let a person feel and know the love of God for a moment.
That's
and so
right.
when you give that cup, you give it in the name of the Lord.
right.
You do it as unto the Lord, as the Lord would want us all to do. And it turns out to be a blessing for somebody. And then how cool is that? I mean, that's called win, 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 win. That's all good all the time. TheComfortCub.com. That's the website. 888-595-6671. For anybody that has had anybody in their lives have a loss, have a hurt, a serious wound, nothing like a teddy bear right on your shoulder going, that's all right. That's all right. Even I know that. Come on, folks. I might be a strong kind of guy, but I'm not a dummy. Comfort Cub, thecomfortcub.com. Nice job, ladies.
Yep. Thank you.
You've been listening to the David Spoon Experience right here on KPRZ, 1210 a.m. in San Diego.